Good afternoon, all of my students out there in virtual land. It is great to be with you again today. Thank you for your patience over the last week. I appreciate you waiting for this video. As I have found, it is easier for me to make a video that is more informative for you if I wait until after I teach. The students who are in class give me some really great questions and things that I like to incorporate into the video for you, and I found it super helpful for both me and you if I wait until after teaching to do this video. So I'm here with you this afternoon, and I'm sure that you are anxiously awaiting all of the information about the assignment that goes with items that start with A. But before we do that, I want to stop everything and do a little icebreaker with you. Now, normally, if you're in my class, you know that everybody would say their name and would answer whatever question that I pose. But because it's just me and you today, then I will just pose the icebreaker question. I'll answer it. And then I hope that you take a minute to stop and pause me and answer it too. Today's icebreaker is this: your name, and then I want you to be a little bit creative. We're going to get those creative wheels turning. I want you to make up the name of a drink. I don't care what's in the cup. It could be water, it could be iced tea, or your favorite cocktail. That's beside the point. I want you to make up a name for your drink. And that name should personify everything that you want in a drink. So take just a few minutes and think. Today's icebreaker, your name, and think of the name of a drink. And the name of that drink should personify everything that you want in that cup. I'll go first, give you a chance to think, and then if you want, you can pause me. And then it'd be cool, like if you want to email me the name of your drink, I'd love to hear what they are. Okay, I am Gina Simpson, and the name of my drink would be Where You Been. And the reason it would be Where You Been is because I'm here to tell you, every day after working all day and then coming home, wrestling with the kids, when I finally get them in bed and I pour a glass of wine, I look at that cup and I'm like, where you been? So that's the name of my drink, Where You Been. All right, I'd love to hear yours. So if you want to email them to me, that'd be great. Pause me for a second. Think of the name of yours. Okay, hopefully we've got your creative wheels turning a little bit. So let's turn page and let's talk a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling some feelings of anxiety in trying to determine what it is that you're really supposed to be doing with this assignment. Items that start with A. I think that you have a goal. Everybody knows the goal. The goal is to take all of those items that start with A, there are resources, and the observation I gave you, the goal is to develop an entrepreneurial opportunity based on those two. That's the goal. So everybody's got the same goal. Maybe where you're having a little bit of anxiety is that you weren't really sure what the turn-in date was. You weren't really sure how you were supposed to use these resources. You really weren't sure what format I was looking for. If you were feeling anxious, then that's normal. The assignment was designed to make you feel anxious. Some of you will feel the anxiety for different reasons, but nevertheless, that anxiety that you're feeling is known as uncertainty. And I wanted you to feel uncertainty for a reason. You see, as entrepreneurs, we wake up every day and we face uncertainty. Now, we know what our goal is. Our goal is to run a successful business. And normally, every day when we wake up, we know what resources we have. So much like you, we know our resources and we know our goal. But we deal with a ton of uncertainty every day. How do we get to successful? What does that look like? What are the steps we're supposed to follow? We don't have a syllabus in the entrepreneurial world that outlines everything that it's going to be our objectives or how we're going to be measured. What are the performance measures? We don't have that. We don't have a schedule that says when things are due. We just know that we have to get up and work hard every day and be resilient and persist through the uncertainty to do the best that we can do to try to be successful. So the way that you've been feeling for the past week is very purposeful. You see, the way that you respond to those feelings of uncertainty will tell you a lot about yourself. It will tell you a lot about your resilience, and it'll tell you a lot about your ability to persist. We know that resilience and the ability to persist are key for being successful as entrepreneurs. So let's take a minute to reflect. How did you respond over this past week to the anxiety? Now, these are rhetorical questions that I don't want you to answer to me unless you want to talk about them to sort through them. I'm going to ask you some questions about how you responded. And the answer to the questions, there is no wrong answer, first of all, is only meant to help make you more self-aware so you understand how you reacted to uncertainty. Some people might have gotten angry, and some people might have started complaining. Maybe you got really mad and frustrated at me. That tells me a lot about your resilience and your ability to persist. Some of you may have just been so overwhelmed you completely shut down and didn't do anything. That also tells us quite a bit about your levels of resilience and persistence. But there are some of you out there who just plugged along anyway. You plugged along, made the best of the situation and the goals and the resources and tried to just solve the problem. That tells me a lot about your resilience and your persistence too. Now, obviously, that last situation is where we all need to get to be successful entrepreneurs. So if you responded one of the first two ways, it's okay. We're all human. We're all human. The key is to recognize how you respond to these uncertain situations and to figure out what you can do to shift that level of energy so that you can just keep plugging along and help to build levels of resilience and persistence within you. I promise you're going to need them when you graduate and join the adult world. I use adult with quotations there. Okay, so I hope that that clears up some things for you. I know that some of you had emailed me some questions. I didn't answer purposefully because I needed you to feel the uncertainty. So with that being said, I want you to pull out the work that you've been doing on items that start with an A. And let's kind of think about where you are. If I were to ask you right now, give me a 3-minute pitch right now on the work that you've been doing, what would that look like? Are you ready? Could you wing it? You see, in the business world, we never know when that make or break moment is truly going to happen. We never know when that customer that might make our business is going to walk through the door. We never know when the next hurricane is going to come through that might decimate our business. That's uncertainty that we live with as entrepreneurs every day. And because we know that that uncertainty is out there, it is up to us to always be as prepared as possible. So if I were to say to you, video your 3-minute pitch right now and send it to me. I have some ideas of what it would look like. And my ideas are, it would probably look like a lot of the ones that I saw today in class, where people were flying by the seat of their pants. You've done some thinking about the resources. You've done some thinking about really what you're going to, be your solution or your opportunity. But because of the uncertainty, you're probably not being super productive and or creative. So let's address that today. I want you to look at ginasimpson.online and notice that I have posted all of the instructions for the items that start with A assignment. There's 3 different parts. You all have done the first part. You had to give me an item that started with an A, and then you were to list all of the items that you saw in the video, and you were to think of an alternative name and an alternative use for those products. So you've done that. You've done part A. Part B is I gave you an observation and I said, here's your resources. Go find an entrepreneurial opportunity that you can do using those resources to solve a problem. Now, here's the steps that you should be doing in order to achieve this success with this assignment. The first thing that you should do is you should forget about the resources completely. You see, a lot of people get completely freaked out when I say that's all the resources you have. And instead of looking at what the market is demanding or what the market wants or what the real problem is to be solved, people start to focus on what can I do with these resources? And then they just start throwing something together that, sure, it used the resources, but it's not an entrepreneurial opportunity. All it is the sandwich you made with the food that was left in the kitchen. Not anything anybody would really want or that you could really sell. So you've got to let go of that. The other thing that you have to really spend some time on is using those empathy skills that we talk about. Building your empathy skills is going to be key in making you successful. And what do I mean by that? Well, I just gave you an observation. The only thing you have is that people can't participate in the normal tailgating activities at home games that they usually participate in. That's an observation. What you have to spend some time doing is determining what is the real problem. An observation, they can't tailgate. The real problem is, how does it make the people who usually tailgate feel? Really feel. And you've got to dig deep. Sure, they feel disappointed. Disappointed about what? Take it a little bit further. Are they disappointed because they are not in control anymore? Maybe a lot of this has to do with our complete lack of control over the activities that we normally get to control. We can't control whether or not we can tailgate. We can't control whether or not we can really even go to the game. We can't control whether or not we wear a face mask. Maybe the real problem is people are frustrated and angry because of lack of control. Maybe, I don't know. It's up to you to figure it out. That's just an example of me brainstorming. Maybe people are sad and disappointed because a tradition is broken. Maybe people are lonely. You've got to really dig in and you've got to sit down and think about your target market. Now, we know that the target market are people who tailgate, but also along with the people who tailgate, you can divide those up into more specific target markets. There are students who tailgate. There are families who tailgate. There are businesses who tailgate. You'd really have to be very specific about which target market you're going to solve the problem for, and you have to put that into your assignment. And then once you determine which target market you're going to look at, then you have to dig deep into empathy and start talking about what they really, really are feeling. After you've done that, then you've identified the problem that needed to be solved. I saw a lot of students today trying to solve the observation, and they were trying to come up with things that just made the tailgate look different. Well, if you're just trying to make the tailgate look different, then that gives me a hint that you're trying to solve the observation and not the problem. So you need to spend some time thinking about which one are you really solving, the observation or the way that the people are feeling, their big pain, and really dig into the big pain. Once you've identified the real problem, once you've identified the real pain, then you can be creative and you can brainstorm and you can come up with multiple ideas for how to solve that. After you've come up with multiple ideas on how to solve that, then you need to pick which one of those you think is going to be an entrepreneurial opportunity. Now, don't lose sight of the fact that entrepreneurial opportunities must have 4 components. They must be timely, they must be durable, they must be attractive, and they must be valuable, meaning that the market is demanding it and the market will pay for it. After you've gotten to this point and you've identified the entrepreneurial opportunity, now you can think about the resources, but not until now. Don't get caught up in the scarcity of resources. Get caught up in the problem you're solving. And once we get to this point, and now we've started thinking about the resources, I want to introduce a couple of new concepts for you that affect the way we think about things and that limit our creativity. Things that I see happening with entrepreneurs and business professionals all of the time. And that is that we approach problems with a specific mindset. We either approach problems with a chasing mindset or we approach them with a stretching mindset. Now, the chasing mindset is the most predominant one I see in the business world today. We applaud it, we award it, we think it's great. And there are times when it is. However, let me tell you about the chasing mindset. The chasing mindset occurs when people believe you have to acquire more resources in order to solve a problem. This is when we hear of people throwing money at problems to solve them. It's a chasing mindset. Or if we need to feel like we match up, social comparisons, then we feel like we've got to have the right house, the right car, live in the right neighborhood. We want the right job with the right company, making the most money. We're chasing resources to solve a problem of self-confidence and fitting in. And we just keep throwing more resources at it because once we achieve more, then we've got to have a bigger house. Then we've got to have a better job. Then we've got to have more money. And the chasing mindset is like a hamster wheel, and it just keeps rolling and keeps rolling and keeps rolling. And because people get caught up with throwing resources at problems, they lose all creativity, completely lose it. Because what they do is they take existing resources and use them in the way that they were intended to solve problems. They never get creative with the resources. So if you found yourself caught up in your lack of resources and really frustrated because you felt like you needed more resources to solve this entrepreneurial opportunity, then you were approaching this with a chasing mindset. There's nothing wrong with it. It's completely normal. The key is to recognize you did this and to try to shift to a stretching mindset. Now, when people are approaching problems with a stretching mindset, they're looking at using existing resources in different ways to solve the problem at hand. This is what I'm forcing you to do by using the items on the list to solve the problem. This forces you to be more creative. And research has shown us time and time again that the best innovation comes from using a stretching mindset. And that is when we use existing resources in different ways to come up with innovations and to solve problems. So why is it so hard for us to take existing resources and to use them to solve problems? Well, that is because we get caught up in something that is called functional fixedness. Functional fixedness is normal, and it actually worsens as we get older, unfortunately, unless we purposefully train our mind to jump over that obstacle. So think of functional fixedness as one of the hurdles that people jump when they're running track. And you are trying one of them, and it has functional fixedness written on it, and you're trying to run and you need to leap this obstacle every time you're trying to be creative. And with the way that what functional fixedness means is we become indoctrinate, I can't even talk. We become, let me just do it like this to try to use big words. We get caught up in the fact that an item is invented for one use, and we seem to have a problem overcoming the fact that that item is used for one thing. For example, let's just see, I've got a cup. If I said, what is this cup used for? We would say to put liquids in it so that I can drink it. If I said, okay, take that away, now come up with 5 other things I can use this cup for. If we jump over that hurdle of functional fixedness, then we could say, this could be a flower vase. It could hold flowers. This could also be a pencil holder. We could put pencils on it and put it on the desk. I want you now to take some time, and I want you to pause me for just a second. And I want you, for practice, to think of 5 other things, other than what I've already said, that you can use this cup for. Pause me and do that. Take your time. Think of 5 other things. Okay. Now that you've done that, now you see how we get caught up in functional fixedness. Now, as you look at your list of resources, I've already started you on the path of jumping that obstacle, because I ask you in the Excel spreadsheet to tell me an alternative name and an alternative use for every item on that list. This is practice in helping you break that functional fixedness that stifles your creativity. So where are we with items that start with an A? Here's what you should be doing. The first thing you should do is notice the observation, and you should spend quite a bit of time putting on your empathy shoes, and you should really identify the true problem and list out the true problem. It must do with the way that people feel. Once you do that, then spend some time brainstorming ideas. Write down who your target market's going to be specifically. And then look at those ideas to see which one is the best entrepreneurial opportunity. After you've done that, then I want you to write a value proposition for me. Now you can start to think about the resources. So the next thing that I would suggest that you do is look at all of those resources and spend some time thinking of 5 or 6 alternative uses for those items. Just think about it, not in the context of the problem or your solution, but just in general. And as you do that, you're going to see that the wheels start turning, and you start looking at ways that you can use these resources to solve the entrepreneurial opportunity. Now, I know that you can all do this, because if I said, has there ever been a time where you were getting ready to go take a shower? You go into the bathroom and realize you have no shampoo. If you're using a stretching mindset, then what you did is you looked around and you improvised. Maybe you used your hand soap. Maybe you went to the kitchen and got some Dawn. I don't know. But I bet some of you improvised and used resources you had on hand to solve the problem. However, if you had a chasing mindset, you turned everything off, got in the car and left and went and bought shampoo. You threw more resources at the problem. I want you to get that out of your mind. Use the stretching mindset, and I want you to practice getting through functional fixedness by thinking of multiple uses for every one of those resources. After you do that, then you can look at that entrepreneurial opportunity and you can make the resources work for you rather than starting with the resources and trying to make the resources into something that is not an entrepreneurial opportunity. So I hope this is helping you and is making more sense in what I'm looking for in creativity. The more that you practice pushing through functional fixedness, the more that you practice having empathy and looking for the real problems, the more creative that you're going to be. So look through what all you have to do. Once you've done this, then you've used your resources to make the entrepreneurial opportunity happen. Now it's time for you to deliver that 3-minute pitch. Now remember, as you do pitches, all pitches have the big 5. Don't lose sight of that. Start with the big pain. That is the problem that you used your empathy to come up with. Then talk about your brilliant solution. That's the entrepreneurial opportunity that you have developed. Then differentiate yourself from your competition and talk about why you. Finally, finish it up with a call to action. I want you to video those 3-minute pitches, upload to YouTube, and send me the YouTube link like you did for your 1-minute pitch. I want to see those, so you're going to send those to me. I'm then going to put all of those links together and I'm going to send it out to all my virtual students. Part 3 of the assignment is you all are going to judge each other. You're going to grade each other on how creative you've been on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most creative. You see, this is a double-edged approach at teaching you to be creative. One, I'm giving you some tools and an assignment to help stretch your creative skills. But then on the other side of it, I'm asking you to evaluate the creativity of others. All of this serves to reinforce the ability to be creative in your own mind. So you're going to then grade and judge the creativity of your classmates. You're also going to tell me whether or not each one of their ideas is it an idea or was it truly an entrepreneurial opportunity? And this is going to wrap up all of the instructions that you need for items that start with A. I hope that you enjoy this assignment. I hope that it stretches you and pushes you. I hope that your creative skills grow, and I can't wait to see your videos and everything that you come up with. Please look through all the instructions on the assignment that is put on the website. And after you watch this video and you start to think through it, if you've got any questions, let me know. You know, you can always go to my Zoom meeting and schedule a Calendly with me so that we can talk one-on-one during my office hours. Or if my office hours don't work for you, let me know and I'll find another time to talk with you. I don't want you to be out there just in like Zoom land by yourself doing this. If you need some help, reach out to me and we will find a time to talk and to connect so that I can help you. I hope that you have fun doing this, and I can't wait to see all of your fantastic creative solutions. Y'all have a great night, and last but not least, you have a test on Thursday. I'm going to add a couple of slides to the information tonight on GinaSimpson.online that covers chasing, stretching, and functional fixedness, and I need you to know those concepts for the test. But your test will be just like normal. It'll be on Blackboard and available Thursday, and I will send an email tomorrow with all of the details. Good luck on the test, and good luck with this assignment. I know you're going to knock it out of the ballpark. Can't wait to see. Bye, y'all.